Why is it?
Where's the color?
It's black and white out here. It's all gray and gloomy.
Miss Kayla, we need color.
I agree. We can make some.
We can.
Yeah. Let's
Flowers?
Go. Flowers.
Let's do it.
Let's go. All right, you guys. So today we're going to talk about flowers, and we're going to do an activity on flowers. But first, there is an artist by the name of
Georgia
Go ahead.
O'Keeffe. Georgia O'Keeffe.
Georgia O'Keeffe. And she specialized in flowers, in painting flowers and developing flowers in her art. So today we're going to learn a little bit about her and do our own project. So let's get started.
Georgia O'Keeffe was an American artist who was known for painting in large flowers, rocks, and shells, as well as New York skyscrapers and New Mexico landscapes. Georgia O'Keeffe was born on November 15, 1887, and grew up on a farm near Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. By the 1920s, O'Keeffe was recognized as one of America's most important and successful artists. She liked to paint in watercolor and do charcoal drawings.
Georgia was discouraged to paint in watercolor because it was considered to be too easy and amateurish. She then began to use oil paints. Most of her famous paintings were done in watercolor. She painted her last unassisted painting in 1972 as she suffered from macular degeneration, which is a portion of her eye's retina wearing down, and failing eyesight. She died in Santa Fe, New Mexico on March 6, 1986 at 98 years of age. Her home and studio in Santa Fe are now a historical museum and historical landmark. One of Georgia O'Keeffe's paintings, which is this type of flower here. Okay, so you're gonna need to learn warm colors and cool colors. Now, warm colors are red, orange, and yellow, like daytime. It reminds me of that. And then cool colors are blue, purple, and green. Reminds me of nighttime. Okay, so as you can see, this purple is overlapping the green. It's overlapping here, here, and here. Overlapping is when objects appear to be layered or behind each other, okay? So then you have your foreground. Now, foreground is the part of view nearest to the observer, which would be this area here. It's popping out and it's closest to you because it's almost like 3D in a sense. The white paper is my background. It is a part of the scene that is behind the main figure or object in the painting or the picture. Now, the focus is the center of interest. Right here, dead in the center, okay? Now, for the upper graders, you guys are going to do this here, which also has the warm colors and the cool colors, and it also, you see, overlapping, right? Now, with the middle schoolers, you see the same type of colors, but you also see blending. That's a new word. That is the gentle transition of colors or value to create softened lines. So we're gonna get into that. Let's have a good time. All right, lower grades. So the materials we are going to need for our flower is glue, a pencil, scissors. I have some color materials here. And then I have a white piece of paper for my background. I have a purple piece of paper for my flower, which is going to overlap my leaves. So if you have a green piece of paper, that'll be great. If not, you can use white and use your color pencils to color your plants. And then I have my pink paper or red for my foreground, which is right there, that sticks right out in the middle, the focus, right? So also I have the tissue paper. I have orange here, okay? So let's get started. Okay, first step, you guys want to get your purple paper, and we're just gonna make squiggles, big, huge squiggles. And make sure your petals hit the end of the page. It's okay if you go over, just pretend and go like this. And just do big petals. Big petals. Once you're done with that, you're going to cut it out. Make sure you get a parent to assist you with the scissors. Safety first. All right, once you guys have cut out your flower, you place it on your background and you line it up just like that. We're not gonna glue it yet because we're gonna get our scrap piece of paper, whether it's green or white. So I have green, so these are my leaves. The easiest way, you just need about 4 of them, is to go to the corners and make slanted lines that come together like so, okay? On each corner, because we only need 4. You can make some smaller or some bigger. And then we'll cut. All right, we cut it out and I kind of placed mine wherever. I just put it behind, so we're overlapping. And then now we're just gonna glue this together and move on to the next step. Okay, so now that we have our stuff glued down, our leaves and our flower, we're gonna move on to our red, our pink paper that we talked about. And this is for our focus, which is this area here, okay? So we're just gonna draw a rectangle, not too big, also not too small. Okay, just like that. But when we cut it out, we're just gonna round them. We don't want it too sharp here. So I'm just gonna round it off. Okay, so that'll fit right here, but we're going to do just little slits, just like this, all the way around. Very small. We're gonna do that all the way around, okay? After you're done, you can go on ahead and just pull some of them up, just to give it a different little look, a pop-out look. Once you're done, you're gonna glue it right here in the center, okay? But let's get my tissue paper. If you don't have orange tissue paper, you can use orange paper. If you don't have orange paper, you could color on a white piece of paper and cut it out. But you're only gonna need, let's just cut out like a big piece here. You won't need a lot. Okay. You need about 12 tears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and if you need more, just grab a little more. 12. You're gonna ball it up. And we're gonna glue them in the center of our middle of our flower, okay? All right, we're all finished. Great job, you guys. Now, as you see, we have my background here. Then we have the overlapping We have our foreground, which is this bold middle focus part, and then our focus, of course, which is right here in the center. Great job. Make sure you guys send your picture in to map@cityofmontclair.org. All right, upper grade, here's what we're making today. So the materials you're gonna need, of course, a piece of paper, a pencil to sketch your flower, black crayon, watercolor palette, a cup of water to wash your brush, and paper towel to keep clean. Make sure you don't drop anything. Let's get started. So first, what you wanna do is find the center of your paper and draw your circle. It's about 1 inch here. Then we're gonna draw our petals. Now the foreground petals are gonna be the ones that are in the front. And then our background petals are gonna be in the background. Now the foreground is going to overlap the background. Now how you do the petals is just taking lines, parallel lines, keeping them parallel and bringing them to a point, just like this. So I'll show you now. We're just gonna do those around and also in the background. Okay, now we have our foreground petals. Now our background petals, we'll start right in between 2 petals and just bring it in like that. As if it will, just like that, all the way around. We can do a couple of layers of those if you would like. Okay, so if you see any gaps that you kind of want to fill in, like I can put one more here. Just make sure all your petals are hitting the edge of the paper, okay? So I'm about done. So now I'm going to trace over with my black crayon. All right, now that we have it all traced, we have our color palette here. Now, you could either choose warm colors for your background, which are the red, orange, or yellows. Blended, maybe. Go ahead and blend it if you would like. And then you could choose for the petals the cool colors, which are the green, blues, and purples. Or you can switch it around and do the petals as the warm colors and the background as the cool colors. So let's get to painting and blending. All right, guys, here we are. I have my warm colors here and my cool colors in the background. Great job.
Okay, middle schoolers, you will be creating one of these using a blending technique, okay? So, we are going to focus on our warm colors on our flower petals and then the cooler colors in the background, okay? Our warm colors consist of yellow, orange, and red, and our cool colors are blue, purple, and green. All right, so we are going to actually make this bigger. You will need a 9x9 piece of paper, a pencil, oil pastels, black glue. If you don't have black glue, I'm pretty sure that your black oil pastel crayon can suffice. So, let's get into it. All right, guys, so we are going to focus on the center of our paper, which is going to be our focus center. Now, we don't need anything to trace. We are just going to naturally create the center of our flower. So, find the center and just start to create little squigglies here and there as if you're making a circle. All right? So we're gonna draw some vertical lines and horizontal lines. We're also gonna keep those going into a squiggle to create our petals. So right down the center to the edge of the page. horizontally and vertically. All right? So just like Georgia O'Keeffe, she loved for her flowers to be her focal point and for them to bleed off of the page. Now we're just going to create some lines in between to make them bleed off of the page. We can connect some just so we can create a background, but this just makes sure that we have some even petals. All right, so now that we have our lines here, we want to basically cut off some of the petals so that we can get a little bit of background for our flowers. So I'm gonna focus on the corners, and all I'm gonna do is create a curve from both sides, and then you guys will erase the corner line so that we can have some cool colors back here. So I'm going to do the same for every edge. And then erase the extra line. Okay? Just like that. You're gonna grab your black glue and we are going to trace the lines that we created with pencil. Just like that. Make sure you squeeze the same amount for the entire flower. Keep it consistent, guys. So, we're done with our gluing process. We're gonna let this dry. Here's my dry one. And we are going to get our pastels, pull out our warm colors, which is red and the orange and the yellow. And then as far as my background goes, I'm just gonna focus using one. I think I want the deep dark blue one, my background. You guys can choose whatever cool color you wanna use. Okay, so when you're blending, I should need a black too for my focal point. Grab a black. When you are blending, you want to make sure that you transition each color smoothly and evenly into the next. So you always want to start in the center and then blend your way outward. So center, outward. Light colors to dark colors, okay? So starting here, which is our focus, our center, we're just gonna color it in black and then rub it in with your finger. You might want to grab a paper towel to keep your finger clean or a wipe. And blend. It's nice and even. All right, starting with our lightest color, which will be our yellow. We're just gonna color in each petal, starting at the base, I guess you could say, which will be the bottom. Try not to touch the center too much. And then we're gonna blend with our finger. When you blend, you want to blend, starting going in a little bit just so you can get the line, and then we're gonna blend outward. Just get enough in there. I can add a little more. Try to use a clean finger. Moving on to our next color, orange. We're just gonna add some the very end of your yellow to every petal. And then for this one, we want to blend up a little bit so that I can blend into the yellow, and then we'll blend out, okay? Let me just show you really quickly. This one, and then we'll do the other ones. We just want to touch just a little bit, really quickly, into the yellow, kind of staggering a bit. So that you get that nice transition, that even, smooth transition. Okay, let's do the rest for the other ones. Have our orange. Now we're going to add our red. Very end of the orange, all the way to the bottom of the petal. And we're gonna do the same thing, blend it out. Make sure you don't touch your corners for our background while blending out. Okay guys, my blending is done here. As you can see, I made a bit of a mess, so just make sure you have something underneath your project. Now, moving on with our background. But before we get there, as you can see, if you look, I have some that are overlapping the others, depending on how you look at it, the way your squiggles are done. Like this one, for instance, is overlapping these two petals here. Okay, so overlapping is just layering, guys. Foreground, background. So, let's grab one of our cool colors. I'm using blue. And all you're gonna do is color your, ooh, that's pretty. Color your edges, and we're gonna blend them outward. Okay? Okay, so I got a little if in me. I'm just gonna add a lighter color on top of my dark color because that blue is really pretty. It's kind of popping. So you can do it if you want. If not, keep moving. All right, and we are finished, guys. Isn't it lovely? Almost like a sunset, yeah? Pretty? All right, stay tuned for our discussion.
All right, good job, you guys. Hope you guys have fun. You see our 3 creations that we did today?
1st through 3rd, 4th through 6th, 7th through 8th, lower, upper, middle. All right, guys, so we have a few questions for you. Now, how does this help you to understand her paintings of flowers? It helps you to understand how she looked at the flowers and how she appreciated their beauty and detail. Okay? Anything else? Should we go over what we discussed with all grades?
Well, in all the pictures, there I see overlapping.
Yes.
There's a foreground and focus. There's background. You definitely did some great blending here.
Thanks.
Some
cool colors and warm colors.
Cool colors and warm colors. Do you remember what they were?
Yes, the warm colors like the sunset. Cool colors are literally nighttime.
What are the colors?
The colors are yellow, orange, and red for warm. Purple, blue, and green for cool.
Oh, good. You were paying attention.
I was paying attention, Miss Taylor. Thank you very much. So, guys, we are going to leave you with a quote from Georgia O'Keeffe on flowers. Okay? When you take a flower in your hand and really look at it, it's your world for that moment. I want to give the world to someone else. Most people in the city rush around, so they have no time to look at a flower. I want them to see it whether they want to or not.
That's pretty good.
That's a nice quote, yeah?
Right. So make sure you guys snap a picture and send it in to map@cityofmontclair.org so we're forced to see it.
One more time.
map@citymontclair.org.
Before we go, let's go see if there's some color outside now.
Oh, there has to be color now.
This is a lot of color here.
It was.
Let's go see.
All right.
Ooh!
Sunlight.
Now this is better.
Oh, yeah.
Green grass,
Oh, yeah.
pink flowers over there,
Oh, wow.
blue sky.
Yellow over there.
Okay. Hey,
Sunset. Beautiful.
we have color on. This is more like it.
I like it.
Me too.